Alright, so hello. Today I'm going to be showing you guys just a quick, loose flower watercolor tutorial. And just to start off, I'm using just my little travel set of Winsor & Newton Cotton watercolors. You guys can see them here. They are well loved. And I'm not mixing any colors today. You can use whatever colors you want. I'm just going to be loading them up with some water. I have some water on the side here and a mason jar. This is watercolor paper, and then I have some paper towel on the side, and I'm using 2 brushes today. So I'm going to talk about those for a moment. This is a size 6 Cotton Winsor & Newton, and it's got some width to it. It's a little bit of a thicker brush. Now it's not huge or anything, so we have that one. And then I am using, sorry, these are very well loved brushes. This is just an above ground brand size 0, and it is a thinner brush. You'll notice some darkening on the bottom there. It's because I use this for ink, but I also like to use it with my watercolors because I do get some more control with this. So we are doing some loose flowers. We're going to start off with the center of the rose or the flower, using the tinier brush, and then we'll go in with the thicker brush to do the outer, looser edges of the petals. And now you can use one brush if you have a brush that happens to start off as thick at the base and then come to a point at the end. I don't currently have a brush like that, so I'm improvising with 2 different brushes. And a lot of you that are starting out and you just buy like a beginner pack will have these size brushes or something similar. They don't have to be these exact brushes, and brush sizes aren't regulated, so you just kind of have to guess with around what size you're going for. So I'm just starting off by loading up my brush with some water and some paint. I'm just going to go ahead and do that to show you. I'm starting off with my smallest brush. Okay. Oh, see, it loaded it up. So you're going to go in and start off with some very loose kind of squiggles in the center here. So if you look at a rose or you look at a type of flower that has the bud that comes out and then petals out or flows out, you'll notice that they bunch together in the middle. And now I'm not following any kind of reference for this or anything. That's the fun of it. They're just going to be loose, fun, almost abstract flowers. Sorry for those of you who paint, know that it is kind of hard to talk and paint at the same time, but trying my best here. Right, I'm just going over some of these. So basically you start off a little tighter and closer. The closer to the center you are, they're a little more rigid in the lines. Okay. And I'm happy with that for the center of this flower. So I'm going to go in with my bigger brush now. I'm going to load that up with water, because now we're just going to play around a bit to make them looser. And I'm going to go over even some of the ones we already did just to bring that color in there. And I'm just loosely adding in shapes that resemble petals. And I really like this technique because it's so fast. I'm going a little slower just so you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'm trying to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. But You can make the flower as big or as little as you want. You can go around and make little buds even. This is just a really fun, pretty way to practice with your watercolors. Make fun little prints. If you're somebody that crafts, this is actually a lot of fun to do in card making, just to make your own patterned paper, or scrapbooking even. I'm just guessing here, you're not doing anything all that specific. And maybe want to add a little more color into the center here. And for this, just because we're just doing this quickly and playing around, I'm actually just doing a wet on dry technique. So obviously the watercolor is wet, and I'm actually loading the brush up quite a bit with water. But the paper is dry, so I'm not putting any water down first. Now you can, and then add in your watercolors, and that will lend you a really interesting effect, and the color can bleed into the other petals, and actually it's quite pretty, especially if you're using more than one color. Actually, some tie-dye colors, like tie-dye flowers, would actually be pretty cool, I think. I should try that one later. Alright, so there's a flower there. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and do another one just to show you guys again quickly. I won't be explaining this one too much. So I know I'm moving my camera around a bit there. What color should we go with? We'll go with this one. That's a really pretty color. Okay. Okay. Put that down a little bit further. So when you do a technique like this, where you're putting just the wet paint onto a dry surface, you have a lot more control over where it's going and what's happening. But if you'd like to see a little bit of an example here, I can put some water down first. So I've cleaned my brush, and this is just water I'm putting down, so you won't really be able to see it right this second. Just to show you guys an example of what I was talking about. Yeah, and then I'm just going to go in with the paint. Again, I'm still loading my brush up with water as I go. You can let it go, let it blend out. You can kind of manipulate it a little bit, but see how the water is pushing around, and it's pushing the paint as it goes. And it will dry a little differently when you're doing it like this, so you'll have more of a feathered effect. I'm just going to remove a little bit of that because I put a little too much water on there. right? So you can see the difference between these more controlled ones and this one. And bring that out a little bit more. There we go. Down to. I'm really loving the florals lately. I know that most people have a love of florals all year long, but the weather has been so nice here lately that I've just been very excited to see the flowers, and they've definitely been striking some inspiration. I love the colors as well. I've over the last few years, I've found that my style has become very colorful, and I used to be a little darker. I used to like, I mean, I still do like darker things. By darker, I mean I used to use a lot of black and white and grayscale and a lot of fine liners, and I still do that now because I do like a bold outline on a lot of my work, where obviously I'm not getting that here, right? But yeah, I've just found that my style has evolved quite a bit over the last few years. And although I do enjoy other people's art, it's a little darker, even in subject matter, I have become quite flowery myself. I tend to prefer and work with a lot of pastel colors and stuff like that these days, and I'm really liking it actually. I did this one quite big so you guys could just get a feel for how you work this. I'm going to blend this in a little bit here. You don't have to leave these big white spaces if you don't want to, because, you know, in reality, the flowers don't have these big open spaces separating their petals, right? So and there you have it. And you can just keep going, fill up the whole page, or do whatever you like with it. I can just show you another quick example here. So instead of using that smaller brush, I'll just go in with this big brush so you guys can see the difference. I know I was showing you just to get those tighter lines in the middle, just the more controlled lines, because the center of the flowers are just kind of really kind of packed in there. They're really tightly knit, so that just makes the most sense to me. Trying to pick a color here. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. How about we go with like an orange? Okay. So we have our orange. Start off with the center. Oh, this is a little bit of a brighter orange than I was expecting. I don't actually use this color very often. Kind of forgot how bright it was there for a moment. So I'm just going to start doing the outside petals while I wait for, for these ones to dry a bit, so I can go in there and add some color in a minute. I won't do this one as big as the other ones. Sorry, I know my camera's been moving around a little bit. I actually have it sitting in front of me as I'm painting, so it's been a little awkward, but okay, there we go. Need a little more water on my brush. Let me know if you guys like these live tutorials. I know this was a little impromptu for me, but I would like to keep doing these. I think they're fun. If there was anything you'd like me to cover in the future, let me know down below and I can do that for you guys. If there's anything you'd like to see me draw, even if it's not a tutorial, or even anything you'd like to chat about art-wise or technique-wise. Alright, just fill in a little bit. Some of these gaps, not going to do them all. Just going to blend it out a little bit. And that's the fun of I love watercolor for this reason, because you can put it down, and once it dries, it's not totally always there forever, because it's watercolor, so it's water activated. You can always add some water, use the brush, scrub a little bit, not have to do it too hard or anything, but it'll reactivate the paint. So if you don't like maybe a hard edge, so say you don't like that edge, you could lighten it. I happen to like that edge, but I'm just going to show you. See? Just one of the reasons I love watercolor so much. Alrighty. So there we go. There are some fun little flowers that we've painted. These ones are quite large. You can go as big or little as you like. You can do different types. I just thought this was kind of fun. Actually, I could even just go in here, adjust my camera a bit so you can see more of it. And how about we add in just a few leaves, maybe to finish it off. I think that might be a good idea. So I'm just going to go in again with my bigger brush, load up some green here. And I'll start by not pressing very hard. I'm going to press lightly, and then I'm going to go and press harder as I go up, and then lightly go back up as you reach the point. So this is a really quick, easy way to make, so it's not as dark as I wanted, to make your leaves. I'll get a little more paint on it this time so it's easier for you guys to see. That's just the 1/2. So then you're going to do the exact same thing here on the other side. So you're going to not press very hard. It's going to be light, light, light. As you go up, you're going to press harder. Oops. And then lighter as you go up. Let's see. Fix that edge. My hand shook a little bit and I lost that, but just a really simple way to do some leaves. Maybe add in some up here as well. Some more paint. And again, lights and thicker. Lighter. Sorry if you guys can hear any banging or anything outside. They're doing lots of construction around my apartment. I'm just tidying up the lines on this a little bit. Oops, ran out of paint there. So you can just add in as many of these as you'd like. Maybe I'll do a quick tiny one right here. Kind of a funny space there. It's not very well balanced. Alright, I think that works. Alright, we got some leaves there. And again, you can add as many or as little as you like, but there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little live tutorial. And I'll see you next time.